Hi, I'm Adriana from Foam Blast, and DDart was kind enough to send us their entire 2021 line. So that's pretty cool. Back in 2019, DDart released the Tempest. It was a fully automatic gauntlet-style blaster with a ring that wraps all the way around your hand, while a compliant mechanism I like to call a dart thwapper whacks the darts into the flywheels as the teeth go by. It was a fun gimmick that was dramatically improved by a little bit of modding magic. We're about to learn just how far this gimmick can be pushed. DDart showed off several new iterations at Toy Fair 2020, and now I've got them here. So big thanks to DDart for sending us these to review. The Tempest Pro is the closest to the original with an improved rate of fire. And then the Cyclone adds a removable drum for quicker reloading. The Twin Tornado throws that aside and offers the ability to shoot twice as much. And then the Blizzard replaces a ring of darts with a ring of magazines. We'll start with the Tempest Pro. It's basically the Tempest V2 on steroids. It still has an on-off switch in the front that revs up the motors instead of having a rev trigger and runs off of 4 AAA batteries. It has a 27 dart capacity and absolutely spits them out. It hits 54 FPS on average and gets 5.25 darts per second. While the first iteration of the Tempest struggled to use anything but DDart's proprietary ammo, this chewed through almost everything we threw at it. It only seemed to struggle with bamboo darts, but all of them had issues with that dart type. Reloading the blaster isn't difficult, but it's not a fast process, and you'll need to find a very safe place to bunker down if you need to do it on the field. The Cyclone has a solution to this reloading problem, but... So we're here in the workshop, which is a strange place to be for a review, but when we opened up the Cyclone, put the batteries in, turned this switch on, and hit this rev safety switch, nothing happened. So that's not great. We think that there might be a problem with the actual switch inside the blaster. It feels a little bit different than the other blaster safety switches, so we're going to try to fix that. And whether or not it works, we feel like it was important for you to know about it. Sorry, DDart. Alright, so we opened this up, and it seems like the switch is not the problem. It still doesn't work when you push the switch. Is this on right now? Nothing. The issue appears to be right here on this battery terminal. It doesn't have one of the caps on it, and when we tested it with the multimeter, it wasn't making the correct connection. So we're going to clip a battery box off of a old Tempest that we were modding for a friend anyway for LiPo. So it'll be a perfect swap, and we can get back to the review. And with a little modding magic, it's now stock again. Screen wipe. Of course, if we bought this blaster, we would have just gotten a replacement from Target, and we have no way of knowing if this was just an unlucky fluke or a more widespread problem. But back to the actual review, this blaster comes with 2 rings with a 27 dart capacity each. And the ring swap system is really clever, even though it might be a little bit cumbersome. You just spin the lock down, then flip the flap to slide off the spent ring and slide on the fresh one. Lock the ring in place and your reload is complete. It's a little bit difficult to do on the fly just because your arm is inside and we can't phase things through our bodies. Oddly, the Cyclone shoots just as hard as the Pro does, but it has a higher rate of fire at 6.4 darts per second. The Twin Tornado is wondering what all this reloading hoopla is about and just doubles the capacity, up to 54 darts, and stacks them in 2 rows. The mechanism for firing this one is a lot more complex than the others. It's got a tooth that you can rotate if you decide you want to shoot both rows at once through its tall flywheels, shotgun style. It's pretty satisfying to shoot it that way. If you want to make your ammo last a little bit longer, you can fire just 1 row, and when it makes a complete loop, the catch will grab the tooth and automatically switch to the other row. All the blasters have a starting space, but I feel like this is the only one that's important to follow because it makes sure the rows cycle at the right time. And all the blasters also have a knob that pulls back the dart thwapper and allows the drum to free spin. And again, the Twin Tornado is the only one I feel it's important to actually use. Throughout the reloading process, you have to rotate the drum to avoid the several supports that are blocking the ring. I guess that's just trade-offs for improved capacity. You can shoot 3.3 darts per second in single fire mode at 50 FPS, and you can probably expect the velocity to drop when shooting double, but who really cares? when you've got more darts flying. The Blizzard is much larger than I expected it to be. Instead of a simple ring, this blaster has 20 magazines and 4 darts each, giving it a whopping 80 dart capacity. It only comes with 76 darts, so I have to assume you're not meant to load the red start mag, but it still functions, so technically 80 dart capacity. This one is definitely the most gimmicky out of the bunch. Its snowflake pattern that the mags make is really neat, but boy is it heavy. Holding it out in front like a pistol can get tiring really quickly, especially with the rev trigger digging into your thumb webbing. 20 mags also takes quite a long time to load up. The 5th time I needed to load it, we decided to time me and it took over 4.5 minutes. But when it works, this thing is a blast. It's just so many darts. Unfortunately, the Blizzard is extremely picky about dart types. We needed to stick to the included darts or elites to get any kind of consistency out of it. When it does fire, you get 3.2 darts per second and a 50 FPS average. Not too bad. These blasters are all pretty similar at their core, and there's a couple of things that are true across the line. With the exception of the Blizzard, they all have retaining edges at the bottom of the dart chambers. This does cause some deformation on the ends of the darts. I personally don't think this is a big deal because darts are so cheap nowadays, but others might disagree. For comfort, if you liked the Tempest, you will like the Pro, but the other blasters added a rev switch, which is both a blessing and a curse. It's great to not have the flywheels revving all the time, but the switch does awkwardly dig into your hand. We tested 3 types of batteries with these blasters, and since we're looking at these through the lens of a casual player, none of them are LiPo packs. We used fresh Amazon Basics AAA batteries and the recommended Energizer Ultimate Lithium AAAs. We did see a minor uptick in FPS numbers and rate of fire with the premium Energizer batteries, but I don't think that 5 FPS is worth quadruple the price. At that point, spending your life savings on single-use batteries, you can instead do a LiPo conversion. And speaking of converting to rechargeables, DDart says not to use nickel metal hydride batteries with these, so we did not try them, but they do recommend these little rechargeable packs. While we did pop them in our IMR charger and give these a go on the chronograph, we wholeheartedly discourage anyone from using these batteries. They are just generic trust fires. ICR AAA cells are typically rated for around 0.6 amps, and a system like this is probably capable of drawing well over that during normal function. And if you have a jam, which is something that happened to us a few times, you can hit the batteries for much more than that. They're just not safe, so please don't use them, and we will be taking these to be recycled as soon as this video is done. For modding possibilities, our 3D printed cage design fits in all of these models, but the Twin Tornado does use unique flywheels, so you will have to reuse those. All of the rest of these models would love a blue gearbox upgrade, new motors, cage, flywheels, and a 3S LiPo, which is exactly what we did with our original Tempest. Calm down. They don't hit very hard or reach very far, but I feel like it's important to think about blasters in the form they're most useful instead of dwelling on what they're not. And in their stock form, they're really fun for around the house plinking and would be great for playing with kids. Reliability is not a strong suit, but I think it makes up for it in fun. For modders, these are a playground. It's just so easy to rewire, and the result is going to be more reliable and a true surprise to all of your opponents. Thanks again, DDart, for sending over these blasters. For all their flaws, they are really fun to play with, so I had a great time, and I hope that everybody watching enjoyed this quick look at these blasters. And if you want to see more blaster reviews, you can like and subscribe, because we do those occasionally, but mostly the news. If you want to hear about new Nerf news now, actually next 2 weeks, but whatever, you can also hit the button and stuff. Also, we have a Discord now, and that's been fun to talk to people, and we're already starting to post little bits of exclusive content that is just not good enough to put on actual YouTube. So that's a treat. Okay, that's enough rambling now. Goodbye. Oh, jank. Oh. I fell off my table. I stand on a table when I film and I fell off of it.